My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Slay the Spire. My apologies that there was no video in this series. Yesterday, my brain ran away and I had to go track it down and shove it back into my cranium. There are so many damn patch notes since last time. I think we're, yeah, this is since last time. Okay, so Character 3 has entered the beta. I'm really excited for, hang on, never mind. Let's actually go to the current one. It was after this, so these past two. Cool. Oh, okay, so it is just these. There is, or rather there are, 2 new shop relics, 2 new rare relics, 1 new common relic, and then in the new patch, there's a new special relic and a new rare relic. Also, Fission now costs 0. Fission was changed to remove all of the orbs that you currently have and give you an energy and a card for each. It was originally, I think, 1 cost and then upgraded to 0. Now it costs 0 across the board, and the upgrade is that it evokes the orbs rather than removing, which is actually something I kind of predicted would happen at the time as soon as they changed that card to what it previously was. I said, nah, I don't really see anyone playing this unless it's an evoke. If it's a removal of the orbs, I really don't see it in play. And now it's a vote. Really happy to see that. There's a new shop relic in the Prismatic Shard. I don't actually know what that one does yet. I haven't seen it at all. I have to imagine it is a straight up Stardew Valley reference. Although Stardew Valley itself might have been referencing something else with its Prismatic Shard, so whoa. There's also Brimstone, which is a new shop relic that I have seen, which is at the start of our turn, everyone gains 1 strength. So we get to benefit from the strength first. The problem is it introduces a little bit of inevitability on your enemy's side. So I don't know if a symmetric effect in that way is worth it. I can't wait to actually play around with that. I don't know if I will ever like it, but I want to play with it like at least 10 times before I decide that. There's also the new rare relic, the Pocket Watch, and the new rare relic, Fossilized Helix. No clue on either of those. I have to imagine the Fossilized Helix is probably a reference to the Twitch Plays Pokemon Helix God. And a new common relic, Preserved Insect. Now, this one's actually interesting. Every elite fight you go into, all of the enemies start with 30% less HP. That's pretty damn good. Then in the newer one, the Accursed Blacksmith has been reworked yet again. Now you'll notice this is the previous one that used to be 25% chance to get a curse injury if you upgrade a card, or 75% chance to get normality if you gain a relic in that space instead. Then it was changed to be free upgrade or 100% get normality plus a relic. And then it has been reworked again. So now it will give you a unique event relic rather than a random relic, which I have to imagine is the Warped Tongs. And the curse penalty has been reduced from normality to pain, which actually means that it might be occasionally a little bit synergistic in Rupture Ironclad decks in the early game. That's kind of interesting because Accursed Blacksmith is one of those events that can oftentimes appear on the early floors. And there's also another new rare relic in the Winged Greaves. All right. I kind of just want to have a fun run. Done a lot of Ascension grinding recently on the Silent. It's been getting closer and closer and closer. It's been very close to a victory a couple of times. I haven't played the Defect in a very long period of time. And I just want to play kind of trying to get those new relics. So hunt as many elites as possible, go to as many shops with as much money as possible. You know, what used to be the old standard Rhapsody affair. I don't really like any of these at the moment. I'm probably going to go with the random boss relic. Now I regret that choice as well. Runic Pyramid, at the end of your turn, you no longer discard your hand. Is there any retain-based strategy that we want to go for the Defect? What, like, high combo things exist? I guess duplication of energy. Like, we could just have a deck that has, like, high-value defense and offense cards so that we get to defend and attack without really using all of our cards. And then at a certain point, play double energy, Tempest, something like that. I think I'll take a charged battery. There's a nice little way to get that started. Take the current rather than the maximum. And here we'll remove a defend. We need to keep the deck generally offensive, considering we've got 3 elites lined up. As much as I want to use charge battery, I more want to have it for the perfect defense of a future turn. Or I could just kill. That works too. Second charge battery? Yeah. It's probably enough now though. Doom and gloom. Clockwork souvenir is here and I'm really sad that I don't get to take it. Alright. Get another defend out of the deck. I just like mega upgraded 2 defends in my deck. Basically. The problem is without zap and dual cast upgrades, we're gonna have difficulty getting through most elites. And even with those, we're gonna have difficulty getting through one specific elite. So, how do I exhaust things from my... It's defend, charge battery, right? Yeah, and then I can make sure that next turn I have all of my energy and all of my cards in hand. Zap, charge battery, dual cast strike. And then I'm going to redraw all of those next turn, and I have 5 energy, so I get to play all of those plus another card. It's a pretty good deal. And if I don't play a strike here, I actually get to do the same thing again next turn. I mean, the Runic Pyramid's definitely doing something. At this point, I should start striking because we're just going to be entirely aggressive for the next 2 turns. As aggressive as we have the potential to be. Hey, easy luggable and data disc. Start each combat with +1 focus. Not bad. I mean, the deck is thin, so we could theoretically start putting claws in it. It would, because I can keep the cards that aren't claw in my hand and then just cycle a single claw a bunch of times. I think that might actually be kind of cool. That's the reason I'm doing this. Okay. In order to get that done, I need to basically add nothing. Ancient Tea Set, whenever you enter a rest site, start the next combat with 2 extra energy, and this event will just play until its ends. Until my end, almost. Happy Flower, we, every 3 energy will gain an energy. Every 3 energy will gain an energy. Every 3 turns will gain an energy, right? I'm definitely going to get the buffer out in the field here. Cool. I might have to use the Gambler's Brew here just because of how badly the previous space went. Yeah, I'm going to need some sort of good defensive element right now. Damn it. Shouldn't have thrown my claw yet. So I just exhausted my whole hand, so I am desperate for... Ooh, yikes. Oh boy. Yeah, we're probably dead here. I went too hard on the Scrap Ooze event. And that's totally my bad. It's an event that I very often get, let's say, overzealous with. I had a strategy that was going to be good later in the game, but wasn't good early. Right? Didn't have any value, didn't have any of those kinds of things. Now, the worst thing about that is the not getting a Now's bonus. But I was told that if you abandon a couple of times, it just gives it back. Which, for me, is going to make just everything so much nicer. Rather than having to do like a 5-minute speed run to get to the boss. Or scrap episodes, or, God forbid, edit. Come on. Really? Thought it was this time it was going to do it. It's not save and quit. I'm certain it was abandon. Oh god, if this trick doesn't actually work, then I'm just wasting even more time. No! Work! Trick, please. Is it save and quit? It can't be save and quit, can it? Continue. Another try. Reach the boss. Alright, I'll try this 2 more times, then I'm probably just going to change character. No, it worked! Oh, wow! Okay, so it is save and quit. That's really cool. A lot of better options here. The 21 damage for a random rare relic could define our run. I kind of actually want to go for it. What path am I going to go on? 2 early shops, 1 rest. Yeah, maximum the 3 elite on the right-hand side, although it's a really bad path. Or I can get like a couple midline rests. Yeah, I actually think I'm going to opt to take 1 fewer elites on and get a late shop, couple more question marks, and a midline upgrade. All right, so we'll take the random rare relic. Hey, it's the fossilized helix. Prevent the first time you lose HP in combat. That's really cool. That is really, really, really cool. I mean, it's just buffer. It is the effect buffer, but we haven't really seen that in an expanded fashion recently. Like, the closest we've seen is the kind of broader intangibility that's been included in the game. I kind of want to go Sunder. Oh, yeah, let's do it. Card from my deck. I kind of want to go Sunder aggressive, maybe? I don't know. Apparently, my previous choices in the previous space kind of seem to invalidate that. All right. So I still can't be hit for the first time. I love it. Glacier, Claw, or Hologram. I mean, it's very early and we're being offered a Claw before not only 1 shop, but 2 shops. So that's 2 places to remove things from my deck. Make it more Claw friendly. I don't know. I kind of just want to take the Glacier. Fine. Fine, we'll go for the Claw. The Claw. Unfortunately, even though I was only going to take 1 damage at the end of that turn, I have to protect myself. Otherwise, I lose the defense. There's the second Claw. Okay, it was officially the correct decision. Capital T. Capital C. Capital T. And we still need probably Zap and Dual Cast upgraded pretty quickly. So I'm thinking of it like this. Sunder is like a powerful up immediate effect, and the Claws are powerful delayed effects. So for normal hallway fights, the Claws are, I mean, they're helpful, I guess, occasionally. But it's all about the Sunder, and then it's the inverse in the boss fights. I don't play the Zap that turn, because if I don't play the Zap, I can get 2 Claws out before I even wake up the enemy. Which is pretty ridiculous. As much as I want to get Sunder out, is how many turns is the enemy going to be surviving for, right? Because then we can translate that into how many turns does Zap take to equal the amount of damage that Sunder does. So it needs to equal 20, because with the 2 strikes, we've already got another 12. So 20. So 20 turns. For this to be on the board for 20 turns, I have to be alive for 7 turns, which means that after this turn, the enemy will have done its purge form twice. There's no way that it's going to get that late, so we'll play the Sunder. We also weaken here because it's 10 damage every single time they're weakened. You weaken them with a potion, you weaken them for 5 damage on the first turn, 5 damage on the second turn, and then on the third turn they're not attacking, so it doesn't matter. But it's still worth 5 damage each time, 10 damage total. It's pretty good. Yep. And that's all they wrote about the Lagavulin right there. Or a Calcum as well. Wowzers. We could run a deck that has, like, no defense cards at all. That's the new bullseye as well. Lock-on targets receive 50% more damage from orbs. Yeah, I really can't see that in the lightning build, but I know I've been wrong before. And I will be wrong again. Oh, don't you dare tell me I won't be wrong. I'll be wrong as hell, and I defy any of you to prove otherwise. Go for the eyes versus boot sequence and cold snap. No. Meat on the bone, though. If your HP is at or below 50% of ending combat, heal 12 HP. I mean, this is kind of a berserker build, right? Like a little bit. Prevent the first time you would lose HP in each combat. If your HP is lower than 50% at the end of combat, at or lower than 50% at the end of combat, heal for 12 HP. As well as if you have no block at the end of your turn, gain 6 block. It's very much don't defend yourself, go super aggressive. Ornamental Fan! Every single time you play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 4 block. I mean, it's definitely there, right? Scrape is actually interesting. Scrape would be a surprisingly good way to get my claws back as the deck continues to get thinner. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Scrape is unfortunately really bad here. Don't even get the good result. That is to say, we don't get to keep Sunder. Hey! Sunder's great this turn, though. 32 is just enough to kill the midline sentry. We get to start shaping up on the other ones as well. Nice. Woo! Hell yeah! And most of our defensive cards are still left in our deck. That worked out perfectly. No, it didn't. We're still going to be taking damage this turn. Dang it. Oh well. It worked out extraordinarily close to perfectly. It was perfect adjacent. At the very least. Prayer Wheel, Non-Boss, and Rip and Tear, or Ball Lightning, or nah. I could take the Ball Lightning, but again, we're playing in a low Ascension run. I'm gonna play Thin. Let's transform one of these strikes. Creative AI. The thing is, if Creative AI ever generates a power that I don't play, I've severely ruined my own time by playing it. Okay. I gotta be honest, I'm thinking Creative AI. It is, however, a 1-card win condition. It's difficult to argue that it's having a strong negative impact. Especially because of the Scrape, it's more important to upgrade the Zap and Dual Cast early. Oh wow, we have a barrier for the first attack of the Slime Boss. Oh no, we can't even stop ourselves from... Damn it! We have to transform the Slime Boss this turn. Our Lightning Orbs were gonna do it for us if we didn't. But we were buffer protected. It's really cool. Buffer is really strong. Like, having... Okay, how do I explain this? A lot of the time, when a relic has an effect that is analogous to an effect that is also had by a card, you will often consider it, especially if it's analogous to a power or a card that exhausts, you will oftentimes consider it as, I start the game with this power in play, right? The power... machine learning, for example. Draw 1 additional card every single turn for the defect, cost 1 energy, upgrade to make a Nate. It's a rare card. That is so dangerous to include as a relic that already has that ability in play that it is a replacement for the default relic for the Silent. You have to replace it. So it's a boss relic, and it's super unlikely to appear, and you have to replace a different bonus to get it. This is the effect of a still pretty good power already in play at the start of every single combat. It's a rare relic, so yeah, it's gonna be strong, but I could totally see this being slightly nerfed. Not that I'd be glad to see it at all. Hey, speaking of machine learning, there's machine learning. There's the Meteor Strike. The original idea with this deck was obviously that I was going to have Sunder and Meteor Strike, and I was going to try and get Enlightenment or some other mana kind of playing things. I think I actually might go with machine learning. Reboot's more instantaneous in its effect. Machine learning is more... But that makes me want to go with the instantaneous effect then, because I'm a berserker, right? So I'll take the reboot. Removing 2 cards from this deck is bonkers, but so is Runic Pyramid to retain cards in hand, because eventually my deck would just be Zap, Claw, Claw, and Scrape, and then I play Zap, Claw, Claw, Scrape, Zap, Claw, Claw. I don't know if that's stronger than just removing 2 cards right now, especially because of the 0 costing of the things that we play most often. Removing 2 cards isn't that difficult. I think we keep the Sunder. I think the creative AI has to go. I think there's no way I ever play it now. I think our deck has to be too fast, and to make that much of an upfront investment in something that only gives value occasionally the turn after, and usually turns and turns after, is just too much for us. I think it's probably that and to defend. So, left side, 4 elites, an early shop, and a late shop. Sign me up. Yikes. I didn't want my buffer being blocked, or rather popped by 1 damage there. That's why I did what I did. Perfect. And once we get the other one on the ground, we're actually fully protected from everything. Perfect. Upgraded Ball Lightning is difficult to turn down. Now, Darkness Plus. Okay. So this has been changed as well. It's Channel 1 Dark. Now, the upgrade used to be Channel 2 Dark. I think it was also... No, they were just called Dark at the time. Cool. Or rather, it said Channel 2 Dark Orbs, I think? I can't remember. Trigger the passive ability of all Dark Orbs. Now, the problem with this card is it limits itself. You can never play this enough times to make your front Darkness Orb ridiculous. So if you're building 1 large Dark Orb, this is still useless to you after the first play, which is the problem that it had before. In more kind of like value-orientated play, I guess this is now more valuable. Oh my gosh, data disk. Love it. Whetstone upon pickup upgrade 2 random attacks. I think that would just be... Oh, that would be... No, it would be 1 of our claws and 1 of our scrapes. Whew, is that actually worth it? Is that actually worth it over a card removal for me? I'm gonna do the card removal, but I'm not certain. And then reboot. And then go again. Yay! Damn, it feels good to be back on a thin deck. I gotta be honest. There's a reason this is my playstyle. It's because I really enjoy playing like this. You can get such nutty things to happen. Another claw, yeah. I mean, I would have loved Shuriken. I would have loved even Sling of Courage. Sling of Courage, of course, start each elite combat with 2 extra strength. The Lantern gain energy on the first turn of each combat, and Shuriken every time you play 3 attacks in a single turn gain 1 strength. I would have appreciated any of those, but at the same rate, a single claw in a deck of 10 cards. 30% of my deck is now claw. Potion Belt upon pickup, gain 2 potion slots. Not bad. Probably gonna sunder the frontliner there. Probably gonna end up... No, I can't end up sundering that. Okay, so it is actually claw, scrape. Yeah, because I wouldn't have even been able to draw the Sunder in that situation. I think I'm going to be in this fight long enough that dual casting a Lightning Orb is less powerful than keeping it around. Which is effectively saying, right, because the dual cast cost is like 8 per, so 16. So it means that I'm going to be around in this fight for more than 5 turns to delay the immediacy of that effect, or rather to not want the immediacy of the effect. Interestingly, it didn't matter if I blocked there or not, right? 5 and 6, same. Because it just, the amount it lets through after that breaks my buffer, and then the rest of the damage comes through. It's more important that I chunk your damage down. As much as I want to play Scrape here. Oh no, wow. Sorry, as soon as I looked at the deck, I realized there was no way we could get out of playing Scrape there. I'm just going to make this safe on myself. I could have played the risky play, which is to stay around for just a little bit longer. Oh, Kunai! Every time you play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 1 dex. Wow. That's going to be a hell of a lot of a dex for us. We need to upgrade Scrape and Reboot, especially right now. I hate that I don't get to play Sunder here. That hurts so much. I'll Reboot before I Scrape because the deck was actually really bad there. The Sunder is just short of killing the Slaver. So if I double defend, I get 12 from that, 12 plus the 4 that I currently have, 16. So I block these 2, and actually, wow. I'm actually immune. Whee! Claw, claw. I'm actually not even going to put the Zap in there. I want the Scrape to get me claws. Good lord! I can't hit that back line for the life of me. Yikes! This fight could have been so much easier. What is this? Darkest Dungeon Mission, the 4th one? Wow. Yeah, this was a really, really poor fight for us. More than ready to admit that. Frozen Egg, whenever you add a power card to your deck, it is immediately upgraded. Loop isn't important in our deck. Beam Cell, while it would be nice occasionally, having it as, 10% of our deck or slightly less than 10% of our deck isn't that great. Blood Vial at the start of each combat, heal for 2 HP, just again, reinforcing the fact that this is Berserker build. Take the money there. All right, I'm feeling probable strength pot here. Kill one of the Tykes. Excellent. Okay, we take 6 damage, but could be a lot worse. Oh my gosh, those are almost all claws in there. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be Scrape. Silly me thinking about Sunder for a moment. Got him. And here's my 12 HP. Omamori, negate the next 2 curses you obtain. Another claw, sure. Actually starting to feel okay with the idea of going after the next elite as well. I was initially gonna maybe ease up on that. Duck off to the left, get myself another upgrade maybe? I don't know. Yeah, this is something that was always going to be a pretty big problem for us. Didn't draw any 0-cost cards. I could play the defend, or I could not play the defend. It doesn't matter either way. Sunderwinds, though. Electrodynamics pre-upgraded. No. Whew, charge battery pre-upgraded, though. Also, like, very strong, no. Don't need any of them. Oh, yes, the perfect draw. Okay. If I'm willing to drop the weakness potion this turn, which I am, I get to keep my buffer. If I use the defend this turn, I can keep myself... What? I can keep myself perfect in this fight. Sure. Because that shouldn't add a wound to my deck. Oh, never mind, it does, despite the fact that it didn't deal any HP damage to me. Whenever you take damage from this enemy, and I took no damage to the enemy. So it's fine, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not. It's not like I'm angry. Good. Centennial Puzzle, the first time you lose HP each combat, draw 3 cards, as well as 3 cards I don't want. Runic Capacitor is always interesting. Is it interesting enough to take? Does Panacea have a place in this deck? Hell, does Steam Barrier have a place in this deck? I can see an argument for almost all of it. Especially Steam Barrier. As much as I want a card remove dual cast, I recognize that it's going to become free eventually, so I should start removing the things that don't. Okay. Our boss is the champ. Now, we're going to have some difficulty against the champ, but as long as we get like a kind of slow and reasonable early start, we should be okay. We just need some time to power up. Well, unfortunately, there goes immunity by 1 damage on the first turn. So that's probably not boding great for us. Let's be honest about that one. Oh well. Also halfway through the champ's HP at this point. Yikes. Well, my Centennial Puzzle is going to be triggered this turn, which means I'm going to draw 3 extra cards, which means I'm going to put the beat down on the champ. The champ is also going to try and transform at the end of this turn, and then after that uses Execute. I never defend myself fully against this attack, and I never live against Execute if I don't defend myself reasonably against this attack. So I think it's now just damage race time. I think I just go. I also obviously should have done that in the opposite order. I would have got 1 more defense. Cool. Unfortunately, we didn't perfect that boss. How close were we, though? It literally one extra block on the first turn, and we would have perfected that boss. Because we still would have had the buffer up until that turn. Sorry, still trying to readjust leg to good position, because leg still in brace and will be for another 2 months. There we go. Cool. Well, like 6 weeks, but it's slightly shorter than 2 months. Second reboot. I definitely can't be Velvet Choker, so it's either Sozu or Astrolabe. See, Astrolabe at this point, like, what am I... Like, it would just be the 3 cards that currently still have a cost. And if any of them transform into something just, like, really, really, really bad, like, unplayable, all of these are playable. Any of them could transform into, like, Hello World or something like that and just, like, not be playable. So I think I will just go with the Sozu. And then now what I'm looking for is energy costing draw cards like Skim. I'd be totally willing to pay for those. 2 early shops, 4 elites, 1 late shop. This is a really good path. Okay, if I'm willing to take 3 damage on turn 1, I can actually, like, super hyper overdraw. Yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to specifically cause myself to take damage here so that I can draw from the Centennial Puzzle. Because my hand was really, really unenticing. Easy, and it only cost me 3 HP. Hey, an upgraded claw. Overclock would be okay, but we actually do have a really thin deck and go through it multiple times. Vajra, definitely. Start of each combat, gain 3 strength. Or start each combat with 3 strength. We have exactly enough for 1 card removal. I think it is now time to get the final defend that has a cost associated with it out of our deck. I could just get 999 gold right now. 2 normality both die against the Omori. I'm gonna fight the boss from Act 1. I just think this will be more fun, I think. Again. Sure to get all those claws out, then reboot and more claws. Oh, really? You shouldn't have, literally. Excellent. Turnip, I can no longer become frail, as well as skim. We actually did get it. All right. Hey, fight for a rare relic. I just did this in the last space. Could have sworn. That's a hell of a lot of draw right there. Whew. And once again, make sure to get up the steam barrier this time. Lovely. Ginger, I can no longer become weakened. Okay, now I just need to get the odd mushroom from the event that only spawns on the first floor so that I have half effect from vulnerability and I can just be in flawless form the entire time. A pre-upgraded beam cell, now that we know that Donu and Decker are our final opponents and how often we cycle through our deck, is that now worth it? It's closer. Yeah. Woo! Yikes. It's a rough time, Orb Walker. You okay, bud? Dunk them. Self-repair for Streamline, for Equilibrium, for no. Easy straight nose across the board. I'm glad that we don't have a pen nib so that I have to do any ordering considerations, because gosh, that's always annoying. As much as I want to Sunder right now for 94 damage, I've got a reboot. Hey, I actually did draw the Sunder. I was really hoping I would, right? Because I need the Sunder to do more than 100 damage so that I get the Overkill achievement. Nice. When adding cards to your deck, you may gain 2 max HP instead. Whoa, we're not in the Ascension grind. We're back in casual play. We get to enjoy the things that we enjoy. We're back on a thin deck. We've got the Friend Bowl. What up? Gonna take the reboot upgrade here. I know Reboot only gets 2 more cards and exhausts, right? Whereas Skim only gets 1 more card but doesn't exhaust. So you'd want to upgrade Skim for a longer combat. But I would argue that every combat we have up until the final boss combat is not going to be a longer combat. Bronze Scales at the start of each combat, gain 3 thorns. Whoa, wrong ordering there, but still ease. Damn, that's some damage on turn 1. Look at these claws. Taking nothing from no one. Juzu Bracelet. Regular enemy combats are no longer encountered, question mark rooms. I never get offered, across the entire run, I didn't get offered a single double energy, so I'm really glad that I didn't stick to my original strat of just going for those. Because, gosh. Oh, it was going to be a famine. And again. And just a bit more. Gosh. Deck absolutely blows everything out of the water. I love it. As much as I would love to be able to weaken... I've already just traded it away, so I can't do it. But as much as I would love to be able to weaken Dono and Decker. I don't know how I feel about Dono and Decker being my final bosses. Like, I either feel extraordinarily lucky or terrified. They can't decide. Well, against what's currently happening, I definitely feel closer to terrified. Yeah, looking for more and more defense here, bud. Well... Oh no, it doesn't matter! Of course, we actually have the giant block. I forgot about it as well. Look at the claw for 45 damage. Good lord. Art of War, if you don't play any attacks during your turn, gain an extra energy next turn. I kind of want some colorless cards. Do I need to be on max HP for any reason? Not really. Enlightenment has exactly one good hit, and that's Sunder, and then after that it's really bad. Dark Shackles? Eh. Mind Blast definitely doesn't have a place in this deck. Impatience is interesting, because Impatience will always be castable, because all of our attacks are mostly 0 cost. Never mind, the Sunder's there. As long as I play the Sunder at the right time. I think I can actually get Impatience to work with me. And then there's another Impatience. All right. I think when the Impatience don't work with me, it's going to look like I'm the worst player of all time for having taken them. But I think they're going to work more often than you expect. So they're not going to work here. I'm kidding. I mean, they aren't going to work here. Hey, never mind. They started to work. All right. Nah, the Sunder's here to destroy the fun times we were having. Complete new reboot. You just stay there, Sunder. I'll come back for you later. Sorry, Impatience. Symbiotic Virus at the start of combat. Channel 3 Dark. Sorry, 1 Dark, rather. Thanks. I'm tripping over so many words today. I don't know what's up. Alright, Skim. Go up against this final boss. Eh? See what final boss it is. Eh? Yeah, no, the Sunder screws up the Impatience, and I was dumb in having taken it. Whoops. Whoops. Ouch. Those days are actually real killer. I mean, if I get Steam Barrier back now after a couple attacks, maybe I can... Ooh. Okay, I can fully defend myself. And the Impatience, again, screwed up by the Sunder. And there's a lot of 0 cost cards in there. We want the scrape, definitely. Easy Impatience. And finally, we're going to take the damage that we've deserved this entire time. And then immediately kill the Decker. We didn't get to use Impatience like one time in that fight. Damn it. If I'd only removed the Sunder back when I thought it should have been removed, which is at the start of this floor, that would have been... it just would have continued forever. Well, damn. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Slay the Spire, a break from the Ascension grind, just to have a little bit of a look at some of the new stuff. And I'm very glad that our first relic, in fact, was one of the new things. Obviously, in our first run for the episode, and no one can testify otherwise. Hopefully, you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.